Good morning, everyone. And now it's time for this week's story of joy. Just fixing my camera a little bit here. My story of joy this week is a fun one. I have had all of these preconceived notions about this new app that's out called Clubhouse, and it's for iOS users only right now. And it's one of those things that I first of all, the name Clubhouse made me feel like from the get go, the cool table, quote unquote, at lunchtime in grade school. Do you know what I'm saying here? Anybody else get kind of those? This is exclusive. You can't sit here kind of vibes. Yeah, not the most pleasant thing to experience. However, um, it was bringing up all of these things for me, and I thought to myself, I'm not sure about this, and I had all of these thoughts, and then I got on there, and my first couple of experiences were not the most positive ones. Again, we're bringing up a lot of different things for me, but I thought, in typical Aquarius fashion, I said to myself, I'm going to make this what I want to make it, because if I'm going to use it or enjoy it, or even just have that experience to see if I'm going to enjoy it, I need to make it into something that's my own. And so I said today, I hosted this morning my first room at 6 a.m. Central Time. So bright and early this morning, I hosted my first room on there called Joy Unfiltered. So I want to invite you guys, if you're on Clubhouse, to follow me at my Jessica Dugas. Just look for my name on Clubhouse. And I'm hosting this now every single Monday at 6 a.m. Central Time. I'm hosting this room where we can talk about joy and joy unfiltered. And so it's really kind of cool to have these experiences where we can get together and really just be in a high vibe space and enjoy each other. And so my joy story this morning is that I got to host that room, and my good friend Jimmy came on, which was fun and exciting. And we had amazing, joyful conversation, shared joyful stories, and it was a really fun experience. I want to invite you this morning, before we get started, to head over to projectjoypodcast.com and click the join live button to join me live on air later on in the show to share a moment of joy or gratitude with me. That's projectjoypodcast.com. And you'll see a little ways down a little join live button, and you can join me live on air. I'm really excited to be here with you for another episode of Project Joy Live. And based on my story, I would encourage you to find something that maybe you have preconceived notions of today, and find out how you can find the joy in that, if there's any to be found. And we're going to be back in just a minute for more of the Project Joy podcast. What's up, everyone? It's Jessica here, your host of the Project Joy podcast and, of course, The Breakthrough Show. I want to take a moment and thank all of our supporters here at the show. With your financial support, we are able to expand the show and reach more people, with the hopes of inspiring our audience members to change their lives for the better and know they are supported during times of breakthrough. We welcome our one-time contributions to our show by sending a PayPal to business@thebreakthroughshow.com, or you can join us at patreon.com/thebreakthroughshow, where you'll be rewarded for your regular contribution with things like our exclusive community, Soul Connection Collective, merchandise discounts, fun shout-outs on the show, and more. On behalf of everyone here at The Breakthrough Show and its network, we thank you for your generous support. And now, back to the podcast. Welcome back to the Project Joy podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm really excited to be here with you for episode 4 of the 2021 season. Really thrilled to be here. As I said, I had a wonderful time on Clubhouse this morning. Special thank you to the couple friends that joined me on there for some joy, some conversation. It was really a wonderful experience, and I will continue to do that. So if you're on Clubhouse, find me, Jessica Dugas, and join me at 6 a.m. Central Time, bright and early, first thing. Brush your teeth and come on to join me every Monday morning at 6 a.m. Central Time for Joy Unfiltered, sharing some stories and moments of joy before we come on live for Project Joy. One of my favorite things is to hear about the joy of others, to experience the joy that others experience. And I have a good friend who's just popped on to share some joy with me today, and I'm going to welcome her on now. Welcome, my friend Cheryl is here.
Good
Hi,
morning,
Cheryl.
Jessica. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I am well. I mean, you give me life. You give me inspiration to I want to be like you when I grow up.
I want to be like me on a Thursday when I'm burnout. That's what I want to be. Monday me on a Thursday. That's what I want to be.
Well, hey, that's what you have your beautiful family for.
Yes, reminding me that I can do that and to get the heck out of bed, to get out of bed.
We all need the motivation.
Absolutely. So tell us, Cheryl, what's bringing you joy today?
What's bringing me joy today is number one, I woke up in the land of the living. So that is always something to feel grateful for. And in living the grateful life, I am blessed to have people in my life that care about me and that inspire me. And even the challenges in your life, you can be joyful about that, not necessarily going through them, but that we have been fully equipped with everything that we need to make it through, because if
Right.
it was brought to us, then we can get through it. We have to employ
Yes.
everything that's within our being, even some of the things that we don't know that we have, and just dig deep and move forward and say, hey, this is happening to me, but this is not who I am. So
Mm,
I'm joyful for the formidable relationships that I have in my life, you being one of them, and being in a season where you know that things are getting better and things are getting brighter.
mm.
And as for me, I have so much to be thankful for because I live a life of gratitude. And my new book, Third Day Revelations, was released back in October, the paperback, and the ebook was released on Saturday. So I am really excited about that and looking forward to some great new opportunities and feedback from some of the readers that I know that I will receive. And it doesn't have to be all praise for me because not everything resonates with everyone. But if you can just find joy in the moment of showing up in your life, one thing I was telling a friend of mine just a couple of days ago is that people will show up in your life to the magnitude that you show up in your life. So we have to stop hiding out from our own challenges. We cannot allow the worst of us to rob us of the best of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much. And reminding us to show up for ourselves. It's so easy when we're going through different things to point the finger and to say, if this wasn't happening, or if this person didn't do this, or if this person wasn't in my life, or if this didn't happen to me. But isn't it freeing for us to remember to take care of ourselves, to worry about our own space?
I totally and completely agree because internal clutter produces outward clutter. So when we have lots of clutter and baggage and unresolved issues within, and we are not fully showing up in who we were created to be, it can impact all aspects of life and everyone that we deal with. So I feel that the best relationship that we can be in is when we're in harmonious relationship within self, then the relationships outside of ourselves will only be an extension of who we are and who we are showing up to be. Because I find that each and every day we can be better, not necessarily perfectionism, because perfectionism is unattainable, but we can all be excellent. But what's excellent for me may not necessarily be excellent for you. So if we keep if we stay focused and keep our eyes in our own lane, just like when you're driving a car, we cannot drive safely and effectively if we're constantly looking at everyone else's lane, because you're going to crash. And don't look at, hey, they're driving this and I'm only driving that. The way forward is forward. So that's why the windshield is a lot. The our front windshield is a lot larger than the back, because we are moving forward. The longer we look behind us and we look on either side of us to see whoever's got whatever going on, then we will find a way to be discontent with our own life. So,
Mm,
con- having contentment and joy and peace in what it is that you have, and look around at all the things that you can be grateful for, that in itself brings joy.
yeah. Yeah. I
At
love
least
that.
it does for
Remembering.
me.
Yeah, it does for me too. I get that completely. And I know one of the conversations I had in my clubhouse room this morning was that it's really easy for us. It can be really easy for us to look at the bad things that are going on around us and saying, well, or having something happen first thing in the morning and go, well, I guess that's what kind of day this is going to be. And I think when we start out the day with some of these things like you're talking about looking at, the great things that are going on, about having gratitude, that's such a huge, positive part of the morning. I think it can really change the trajectory of our entire day, right?
Yes, absolutely. Just because one thing happens, we do not have to allow the energy of that one thing to infiltrate all of our time. Because the more we focus on that one negative thing that happened or that one challenge that can happen, we are thus creating or setting the tone for what is going to happen. Because the best predictors of the future are the words that we're saying in the present. So if we claim, like, oh, there we go, my day is totally ruined, we have called that into existence.
Mm,
So, we have what we say, and the words of our lips produce the fruit that we will eat from.
yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, some days I do better than others.
Well,
We're
that's for all of us. We
Yeah.
all have challenges, but when we can look at our challenges or even look at ourselves, and instead of being our own toughest critic and our own worst enemy, sometimes we have to laugh at ourselves and say, hey, I was tripping in that moment. Or, yeah, it was a mess, but you may not necessarily be able to laugh in all things, but
Mm,
sometimes we can find something to laugh about, to lighten the load. And even if it's to laugh at something that one of your children have done, or something that they've said, or smile. Well, when you smile, then when I've heard this adage that when you smile, the whole world smiles back at you. And
yeah.
the whole world may
Yeah.
not necessarily be smiling, but if you are looking at the world from with enthusiasm and just total exuberance from the inside, you will see the world as a much brighter place. So the world, the universe itself is smiling upon you, because in all things give thanks. And as we give gratitude, we receive much more to be grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that so much. And just like I said, starting out the day with that gratitude is so important. And that's part of why I started doing Project Joy early in the morning on a Monday, because I got so tired of people saying Monday sucks. I got
Yes,
so tired of hearing that, because if you go through life with that attitude that Monday sucks, guess what's going to happen every single Monday?
Yes. And for that matter, the same people that say Monday sucks, they'll get up out of bed and say, wow, Tuesday sucks, Wednesday sucks. So I don't think it is a particular day. It's all in our perspective and our perception of what we perceive the day is going to be. For example, here in Atlanta, it's overcast and it's drizzling rain outside. It's supposed to be raining for probably the rest of the day, maybe even tomorrow. Does that dampen my day? No, it does not, because when I find that when we can wake up in the land of the living and find that we have so much to be grateful for, there are so many people spread out through the universe that wish that they had our life. Our worst case scenario could be someone else's best dream. So we have to dig deep, look for the little things. We may not feel that we have a lot to be grateful for, but even if you can be grateful for your child, if you have small children, if your child drawing you a pretty picture and say, Mom, this is the way I see you, or Mom, I just wanted to make you smile. That right there, those small things in life, when we can be thankful and grateful for the just small things in life, then when the miracles do happen, it will not necessarily be a shift in trajectory or a total and completely radical change for us. When we live a life of gratitude all the time, and we are grateful for the synchronous small events or just the tidbits of things that most people may look at as minuscule, then we are much farther ahead of the game and we become a better version of ourselves. It's not, I find it's not a milestone of when I reach this point, I will be happy. Why not be happy right now, each day? Because happiness is happenstance. I am only feeling good if this happens or if that happens. But
Mm,
joy, we can have joy even when the circumstances and situations of our life are not necessarily happy. I'm not saying that is not a work, because it is a work and it can be a challenge, especially when life throws us rotten tomatoes or it feels like we're getting buried alive beneath life circumstances and situations, whether that be health issues or family matters or financial distress, like so many people, especially in the United States, are in right now. But
mhm,
if until we can find what brings us joy in our own life or what we can be grateful for, because I find that joy is birthed out of gratitude. When
mm.
you have a spirit of gratitude and you just say, hey, even though my life may not necessarily be where I want it to be, or I may not be necessarily where I thought I would be at this juncture in life, what I be grateful for? What do I have to be grateful for? And there is this old gospel song, I think it was by Bishop Paul Morton, and he sings it. He says, when I take a look at my life and I find that all of my good days have outweighed my bad days, then I won't complain.
Mm. Yes. Oh, that's a whole word. That's a whole word right there. That's beautiful. I It reminds me of the Beatles song Let It Be,
Let it be.
where where it's like all of these things can be happening around us, but we have the choice and that's what this show has been about. And last year, my focus every single episode was on looking at these different areas of life, that some of them, I titles were like joy and grief, and joy and things that normally we look at and go, this is a horrible thing, how could you possibly find joy in it? But it's our choice whether we choose, whether we do that or not. And it's so important, if we are the people that are saying we want our lives to be good, we want our lives to be different, we want to be happy, and you're not consciously choosing to set yourself up to find joy, then do you really want to be happy? Do you really want to see change? You have to check yourself at that point.
We are the change that we want to see in the world.
Mm,
When we begin to show up for ourselves, then the world will respond in kind. It doesn't mean that everybody in your immediate circle is going to show up for you, but when we focus on how we want our blessings to come, because more often than not, we can delay the blessings because we have already boxed God, spirit, source, whatever it is you identify with, in a container and dictated how we want this particular thing to show up. A friend of mine back a while ago, Toy is her name, and we were having a discussion about 2 years ago, and we were discussing some different challenges that we were going through, and not not a bitch session or anything like that. I'm like, wow, I need this thing to happen because I'm feeling hard pressed.
mm,
And I want this thing to happen so that I can do this thing. It was something financial. And she says, why do you think that that particular thing has to happen in order for you to take care of that situation? I'm like,
mm,
she says, you are believing that the only way that this thing can happen is if you are the one taking care of it. Can you not believe spirit to take care of the thing? And then, even if this particular thing doesn't happen for you, then the biggest stress is off your plate.
mhm,
Because I was telling her, I'm working on this thing. And when this particular thing comes into play, then I can take care of these other obligations and these other responsibilities. I need to get a hold of this amount of funds based on what it is that I have been working on. And when this thing comes through, I can take. And she says, but if that other thing doesn't come through, is that going to make you the less grateful? And I'm like, no. She says, so why are you stressing out about it? You have to take yourself out of this container sometimes and stop blocking your own way. Because if you truly believe spirit, as if you say that you believe spirit, you have to know that spirit can do many things without your help, without your interference, without your assistance. You just have to let it be. Be in the moment, be present, be grateful for where you are, and trust the process. And the process doesn't
mm,
necessarily mean that you have to micromanage and control every little detail in order for something to go off without a hitch or to solve this situation. So instead of stressing about these bills that you have to pay, and like, God, I gotta get this going so that I can take care of this. Do you not believe that? She asked me, do you not believe that spirit has a way of being able to take care of things, even it concerns you, but it doesn't necessarily have to require you're being all in and you're being stressed out about it. Because if you're being stressed out about it all the time, then you have made yourself your God, and you are the one that is totally and completely responsible for providing the source or the resources. But if you just be still,
mm,
if you just tune in and you listen to what it is that spirit is telling you and be able to embrace the moment of now, all of these other things will work out. It reminds me of the scripture that says, seek ye first the wisdom of the kingdom of God and all its righteousness. Then all of these other things will be added unto you. Because we can
yes,
have finances, but we may not necessarily have any wisdom. And
mm,
when you get boatloads of money, but you don't have the wisdom to apply to what it is you're going to do with the resources, you will find yourself in the same situation before long because your mindset has not shifted. So when we ask for grace in my life, when I've asked for grace and wisdom and guidance in how to go about a situation, then the situation is either resolved with less stress than I thought that it had to be, or things can shift where the situation is not what it initially appeared to be. because we can expand and expound our problems far bigger than they need to be based
Mm.
on the type of energy that we are giving it.
Right, right. This is so good. This is why I'm like, Cheryl, you need to come on. You need to come on Project Joy with me in the morning. You are welcome back anytime, my friend. It's been so nice to have you on today and have this conversation and to, of course, talking a little bit about what brings you joy, but digging in a little bit to some of these topics that can be uncomfortable for people. I think if they've gone through their life believing that everything that is happening to them and not taking any of that personal responsibility or control to look for the gratitude, look for the joy, and express those things as well. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Miss Cheryl.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I always value our time together, whether it's on camera or chatting or on the phone. So it's wonderful. Much love to you.
Absolutely. Much love to you, Miss Cheryl. And we'll be back in just a minute for more of the Project Joy podcast. Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing. Healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every month for exclusive programming, where we invite you to go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to the Project Joy podcast with your host, Jessica Dugas. I was so excited to have Cheryl on the show today to share a little bit of joy and dig in a little deeper to some of these topics about joy and gratitude. And what you just had there was a first look at our little Breakthrough Show Network teaser. And that brings me to my announcement and reminder that today, every last Monday of the month at 2 p.m. Central Time, you can find Rewriting Reality with Shiraz on the Breakthrough Show Facebook page, as well as thebreakthroughshow.com. Shiraz is an amazing energy practitioner that helps us to rewrite our reality and make our lives exactly what we want it to be. So make sure you tune in for that every last Monday of the month for Rewriting Reality with Shiraz at thebreakthroughshow.com or facebook.com/breakthrough show. Also, Ask Crystal, as you saw in that little teaser, will be coming back on in February. So she's always the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, third Thursday of every single month. And then we also have another fun show that you caught a little glimpse of there, which is TBT, or Throwback Thursday with Jessica, which is going to be a completely show about entertainment. And we're going to throw back to some of the things that we loved and lessons that we learned in the 80s and 90s, which I think is going to be a lot of fun because it feeds my nostalgic soul to be able to talk about that stuff a little bit. So I'm really excited to bring that to you guys beginning in February as well. So be on the lookout for that here on the Breakthrough Show page as well. This has been so much fun today. I thank you guys so much for joining us wherever you are in the world. Please take a moment to rate, subscribe, comment, and share where available. And until next week, make joy a priority in your life today and every day. We'll see you next time. You've been listening to the Project Joy podcast with your host, Jessica Dugas. We'll see you again next Monday and every Monday for another episode to start your week off right.